All right, how about a predict cereal? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hero Jack Production presents Valentine's Day Extravaganza. We got one hell of a comedy show for you tonight. Tonight we're featuring the litigator of levity himself, Mr. Jason Imler. Jason has performed at the Gotham Comedy Club in New York City, New York. Okay, what more do you want? It's the big fucking apple, people, come on. We got the one-liner comic Scott Kelly, who basically was the mastermind behind this whole production. So give it up for Scott Kelly. My name is Jordan Treese. I'm your host for the evening. And I hope that you're here tonight to celebrate a very special belated Valentine's Day with your lover, your significant other, maybe some good friends, and hey, if nothing else, we're all neighbors in this little community of comedy we're trying to establish here at McGarvey, so give it up for being with some neighbors. Yeah? Won't you be, please won't you be my neighbor? It's a song by Fred Rogers. He's from Pennsylvania. Passed away, but I gotta believe if Fred Rogers were alive today, he would not want me and my family to be his neighbors. My kids are loud and annoying. I never maintenance my lawn, and me and my wife are always somewhere in between fucking and fighting, and we never close our windows. I'm serious. You might hear something like, "Is that all the harder you can hit, you little midget?" And that might be foreplay with dirty talk or mutual combat assault, depending on how that police report is written up. That's right. Look, I'll tell you what kind of neighbor I am. I don't even own a snow shovel. No, I don't. The other day, it's snowing up on 2nd Avenue, snowing like hell. I'm sitting on the couch, my wife's looking at me in disgust. She's like, "Do you want to maybe go shovel maybe the walk for us, maybe?" I'm like, no, hell no. It's cold as hell out there. Look, I got an 85-year-old neighbor with a snowblower and a bad case of impatience, and he actually loves his wife. He don't want her to fall. He'll get to it eventually. I could probably avoid all this, just move to a warmer climate, but I hate taking my wife to the beach. And it has nothing to do with how she looks in a bikini, so don't even go there. My wife does what I like to call marital entrapment, okay? What she'll do is she'll just wander off somewhere on her own and wait for an attractive woman to cross through my field of vision, and then off in the peripheral somewhere she looks like a air traffic controller trying to wave a fucking Boeing 747 in for a landing. She's like, I have to have that painfully awkward conversation with her on the way home. "Is that what you want? Is that really what you want? Firm, athletic legs, a slim waist, and big, full, D-cup breasts? Is that what you want?" "Yes! Yes, of course that's what I want. I thought you knew." "Look, honey, I want to be 6'4" tall and have a 9-inch cock, but obviously I know how to settle. Look, I want to eat filet mignon raw every night, but, you know, I'm not going to turn down some beef jerky if I'm starving to death, and let's face it, honey, you got that Jack Link's kind of love. Me and my wife, we don't communicate very well, right? Obviously. But it's because my wife does what I like to call communication gymnastics. Look, everything has a cute little name tonight, sir. Sorry. What she'll do is she'll just wait for me to ask a question, and then she'll just answer a totally different question. The other day we're sitting in the car, and I'm like, "Honey, do we have any paper towels?" She picks them up at Walmart. She's like, "Let me tell you what that bitch Becky did at work the other day." I'm like, "Whoa, honey, do we have any paper towels?" She's like, "I was getting there. Damn, you're impatient." "Oh, I'm sorry. Please continue." She starts crying. She's like, "No, you don't even care. You don't even care. Just never mind." I was confused. Felt like the time I put my GPS system on in Spanish. I'm saying all the right things, and this thing's just spitting out nonsense, and I ain't getting anywhere. That's right. Now I don't know if I have anything to dry my hands off with, or what that bitch Becky did. Coincidentally enough, both of those things have been known to catch a load in them from time to time, so there's that. Look, this is how I know that me and my wife have a really good, really strong marriage. Have you ever seen a married couple where the man is like elderly and physically repulsive, but he's wealthy, and the woman is young and attractive, and like, you know, we all know that she's with him for the money, and you know, she probably knows that she's with him for the money. Hell, he probably knows that she's with him for the money. Me and my wife, we have the opposite of that kind of marriage. That's right. I don't have any skills or any money, and my wife puts up with the absolutely reprehensible piece of shit human being that I am, and in return, she looks like the lead singer of the 1980s hair metal band Cinderella, Tom Kiefer. That's right. And look, it's like the opposite of what you would tell an abused woman. Like, I know when my wife hits me, it's because she loves me, because she knows in her heart that if she left me, instead of whooping my ass and correcting my behavior, well, I'd either end up in the walk-in clinic or the detoxification unit. That's why my wife walks around the house sounding like Lawrence Fishburne when he played Ike Turner in the movie What's Love Got to Do With It? She's like, I done told your ass to leave the cocaine and the whores alone. Pick up your goddamn mustache and quit crying. You taking me to Applebee's, bitch. So me and my wife, we happen to be in marriage counseling for the issues of communication and the intense physical abuse. That bitch is crazy. But our marriage counselor gives us a little assignment from time to time. And the last assignment he gave us I really loved. He said, I want you two to select a two-word phrase that sums up everything that you don't like about one another. Bring it to the next marriage counseling session. Say it once and let it go forever. So I figured, finally, an assignment I can really sink my teeth into. And I wanted to knock this one out of the park. So I sat down on my computer, similar to this one, and I went to Google. Started typing in a few phrases. First thing I typed in was someone who's judgmental and overly opinionated, and the word troll popped up. Now look, that's a mythological being, and that doesn't represent my wife in my frame of reference, so I continued my search, typed in a few more words. I typed in a woman who's dissatisfied and always complaining. And the C word, cunt, popped up. Now look, I'm in marriage counseling to preserve my holy union, not to destroy it. If I dropped the C-bomb in the middle of a marriage counseling session, well, that would be a wrap for my marriage. So I continued the search, and you know, me and my wife, we don't have sex very often. How many of you can identify? Okay. Someone booed. Boo. Yes, boo. So we have sex irregularly, so I typed in irregular sex, and I think Google got confused because the word freak popped up, and there were pictures of people choking each other and using fruit for foreplay, and that doesn't represent us at all, so I figured, you know what? I'll just wing it. Heat of the moment type of thing, sir. You know what I'm talking about. Got to my marriage counseling session. My marriage counselor looks at my wife and says, Tiffany, I want you to say your two-word phrase that sums up everything you don't like about Jordan. And she blurts out, unambitious midget. My marriage counselor looks at me and says, Jordan, do you agree with that? It's kind of fucking hard to argue height and lack of accomplishment. Isn't that pretty much a matter of record? The marriage counselor looked at me and said, Jordan, what's your two-word phrase? And out of anger, I said, control freak! The marriage counselor looked at my wife and said, Tiffany, do you agree that you're a control freak? And she said, I guess so. And it's the little victories you have to embrace. How to embrace those little victories. I can see how married couples would like to kill each other. I'm not saying I advocate that sort of thing. I'm just saying I understand it. I've been watching this Chris Watt coverage that's been on the media lately. You can't get away from it. And I I have a few words of advice for anybody who's thinking about doing anything to their wife. Maybe spend a little less time Google searching how to hide a dead body and maybe invest that time in, I don't know, a fucking acting class? Pick these guys out of a lineup from a mile away, they look so goddamn guilty. They're all just standing on their front porch, surrounded by members of the media, arms folded, anxiously swaying back and forth. They look like Eminem about ready to jump in a fucking battle rap on 8 Milers. Fuck, alright, first question. See, this is how I know I would never get caught. If anything ever happened to my wife, I would sell that shit like a mama in a 90s hood and be like, oh Lord Jesus, they got my baby, what am I do now? What am I do now, Jesus? And they could even confiscate my computer, they wouldn't find anything. The lead detective would be like, officer, did you find anything on Mr. Treese's hard drive? He'd be like, nope, not a thing, not even pornography. Apparently this man just had an affinity for the fine arts and loved watching hours of video of Daniel Day-Lewis emote. We talk a lot of shit, men. But if you think about it, the men's penis and balls is like the most unmanly of all organs, isn't it, guys? And think about it. It's very impartial to the cold and shies away from chilly situations. The other morning I woke up and my thermostat was down and it was a brisk morning and I couldn't find my dick. Where the fuck is my dick at? Turns out it was huddled in the corner with an Afghan like, it's cold, I ain't going out there. It's very sensitive. Gets hurt very easily, and when it gets hurt, it stays hurt for a very long time. I don't know if you've ever hit your genitals on anything, guys, but isn't this the case? You're like, God, is that still tender? It's been like 15 minutes and I've already thrown up.